Hi guys, so today's video is going to be my Christmas book haul. I did get a couple of things besides books, so I'll show those at the end, but starting with the books, the first one is Every Heart a Doorway by Seanan McGuire. I've heard nothing but good things about this book. It is really tiny, but everybody says despite being so small, it just captures so much within this small amount of pages, and that it's about children or people who go to fantastical worlds and then come back to our world and don't know how to cope. Next up is a book that I mentioned in my January TBR, which, by the way, Happy New Year, and that would be The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. Everybody says that this book is wonderful, that it's a tearjerker, that it's really emotional. It's a World War II story about a young girl who is stealing books because they're burning literature. When I mentioned in my TBR that I was going to be reading this, those of you that have read it have just been saying like, get the tissues ready because it's so good, but it's so sad. You guys know I love books when they just rip my insides apart. Next up is the book Warcross by Marie Lu. I actually felt really bad. It's kind of a funny story. My husband, we made Christmas lists for each other and then gave them to one another, and we were picking stuff off of those lists, and I of course put down a bunch of books that I wanted, and this was one of them. But we went to the bookstore, and it was a used bookstore, and I found this book used for like $9, and I was like, oh shoot, that's a pretty good deal. My husband's like, nope, that's not a good deal. This is a somewhat new release by Marie Lu, who is an author that I've heard really good things about, but just haven't had the chance to read any of her works. But this particular story is kind of video game inspired, where people log in, and currently there are people that are illegally betting on events within this game, and this girl is a hacker. She accidentally hacks herself into it and then gets asked to be a spy. It's kind of a lot, but I love video games. Anytime you can combine my love of video games with my love of books, I'm going to be intrigued. Next up is the book The Glass Spare by Lauren DeStefano. It's kind of a little bit of a cover by. I did read the synopsis though, and I was like, that sounds awesome. The plot follows this daughter of a king who has been kept hidden away so that she could be a spy for him, and she finds out one day that she can like touch people and turn them into gemstones. I've not really heard anybody talk about this book yet, which kind of gets me excited because I don't like when things get super hyped or the opposite happens where everybody's like, I didn't like it, because then it's hard to go in without having those opinions, making you more biased. But I think it sounds really cool. I think the cover is gorgeous, and it's got the, I don't even know if you guys can see it, but it's got the like uneven pages where they're purposefully cut so they don't line up properly, and has nothing to do with the plot of the book, but I just really like that. Next up are just some books that I got to complete some series that I have. One of them is Stars Above by Marissa Meyer, which is a part of the Lunar Chronicles, and I'm currently reading those and really liking them, so I wanted to complete that. And then another is Rebel Spring, which is the second book in the Fallen Kingdom series. I've told you guys about that series a lot. It's my guilty pleasure read. It is a multiple point of view fantasy young adult story, and it's super crazy and super dramatic, but it's very entertaining. And this one was the only one in hardcovers because I've slowly been turning in my paperbacks and converting them to hardcovers. The only one I didn't have, so I wanted to get it before the newest one comes out in February. Next up is a book that I got because I heard about it on Girl About Libraries channel. She mentioned the book Beneath a Scarlet Sky in, I believe, a TBR video, and then just recently did a 60-second book review of this, and it follows an Italian teenager during World War II, and his life sounded fascinating. He was an experienced mountain climber or something, and I think at one point helped people escape through the mountains, but then to protect him, his parents had him sign up to become a Nazi, but then he became a spy or something. It just sounds really interesting. I am wanting to get into a lot more historical fiction this year, and this is based on a true story, and I think I looked up that they're making a movie and Tom Holland is going to be in it, so really wanting to get to this because I think it sounds amazing. Next up, and this is probably one of the best gifts you can get, is when you get different editions of books you already own because you want them, but you feel like such a brat buying books that you already have because you're like, I mean, I already own this. But anyway, those would be the old school American covers for the Mistborn books. I got the first one and the second one because I already own the third one. It's actually kind of a silly story. I've mentioned it on my channel before, but I got the third one, The Hero of Ages, at a local used bookstore, and on the inside cover it said, "To Sean," which is my husband's name, from Mom. And for those of you that haven't seen them, this is what they look like. I think that they're stunning. I think they're gorgeous. They're very different from a lot of artwork, but the like modern American covers. The first one's cool. I do not like the second and third one. They just get really cheesy. And then they have some where Vin, the main character, looks like she's 12. Anyway, I love these. I now have the US, the old US covers, the UK covers, and of course my beautiful Polish editions over there. So I'm curious, for those of you that are Mistborn fans, which set is your favorite, because I love them all. I can't pick. There's one more book that I got for Christmas, and that would be from my husband's brother, and that would be Dawn of Wonder, which is a book that was originally self-published but then got picked up. This story follows a young man named Aiden who is seeking adventure, and he goes on an adventure that only the foolhardy would accept. And lastly, I mentioned to you guys that I got a few things that are not books, but I thought you guys might like seeing them, and one of them is the video game Nier, I'm gonna say it like they say it in the honest trailer for it, Nier Automata. It's made by Square Enix, and generally they make a lot of Final Fantasy games. I love Final Fantasy, so super excited about that. I saw the honest trailer for it, which if you guys haven't watched those, you should, because they're hilarious. But they also really do show you some cool games, even though they're basically making fun of them. And I saw this one on there, I was like, that looks awesome. It follows these androids who are supposedly sent by humans to go to Earth, because humans are no longer on Earth, and they're fighting these robots that were sent from aliens to try and take over Earth. So it's basically androids versus robots. I've already played it a lot, and I'm loving it. It's awesome. So if you guys are looking for a cool game, I highly recommend this one. Also, fun fact for any of you that are like super hardcore video game nerds and played PlayStation 2 games back in the day, this is apparently stemmed from the game Drakengard, which, even if you guys don't like video games, you should go look up like Drakengard weird ending, because I remember playing that game being like, this game is awesome, and then getting to the end and being like, this game is weird. And lastly, a gift that I got from my husband that I'm super excited for is the first season of the TV show Black Sails. I heard about this because one of the actors, Zach McGowan, a lot of people were like, dude, Zach McGowan would make a perfect Geralt, because they're making a Witcher Netflix series, and everybody's freaking out about who's gonna play Geralt, and I had so many people tell me like, go look up Zach McGowan, he looks just like how they depict him in the video games. The dude looks exactly like how they depict him in the video games. He has even like the awesome voice and stuff, and so that's when I heard about Black Sails, because he's one of the stars in the show, and then I found out it's a show about like pirates, and people say it's actually a really great show, and I'm like, well, I want to watch it. Anyway, that is it. I shouldn't say that is it. That's a lot. I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of really great stuff for Christmas, a lot of gift cards, which I then used to buy a lot of these things. But anyway, I hope your guys' holiday season was great. It is officially the new year, which is crazy. Let me know what some of your favorite things were that you got for Christmas. But anyway, if you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the little bell icon to get notified when I post new videos, and check out some more of my videos right over here. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye.